The Happy Prince. On a tall column in the city, there was a beautiful statue. It was the Happy Prince. His eyes were two bright sapphires. There was gold on his body. There was a large ruby on his sword. "He is like an angel," said the children at school. "How do you know?" said the mathematics teacher. "We see angels in our dreams," answered the children. The mathematics teacher was angry. He did not like children dreaming. On the river, there was a little swallow. He loved a beautiful reed. "It's ridiculous," the other swallows said. "She hasn't got any money." Then autumn came. The swallows flew to Egypt. It was warmer there. But the little swallow stayed on the river with his reed. Soon he started to feel lonely. "The reed talks to the wind too much, and I love adventures." But does she love them? The little swallow thought. One day he said to the reed, "Do you want to come away with me?" "I don't want to leave my home," she answered. They were very different. The swallow said, "I'll fly to Egypt." One night, the swallow arrived at the city. He saw the statue. He was tired. He stopped between the feet of the Happy Prince. Suddenly, some water fell on him. "Is it rain?" he said. He looked up. "It's not rain. I am crying," he said. "Why are you crying?" he asked. "I always lived in the palace of Sanssouci," said the Happy Prince sadly. "I was always happy. There were many beautiful things there. There was a very high wall around the garden. I never saw anything behind it. But now I am dead. Up here I can see all the bad things in my city. I am very sad. In a poor house there's a woman and her little boy. They are thin and tired, and the little boy is ill. Swallow, little swallow, I have got a ruby on my sword. Can you take the ruby to the woman? It's winter and I am cold. My friends are waiting for me in Egypt," said the swallow. "But I can stay with you for one night. I can take the ruby to her." The swallow took the ruby to the house. Then he flew back to the Happy Prince. The next day the swallow said, "I'll go to Egypt." But first he visited all the monuments in the city. "That's strange," people said. "A swallow in winter." At night, the swallow flew back to the Happy Prince. That night, the swallow said, "Tonight I am going to Egypt." "Swallow, little swallow," said the prince, "can you stay with me one more night?" "My friends are waiting for me in Egypt," said the swallow. "Swallow, little swallow," said the prince, "far away in the city I can see a young writer. He is cold and hungry, and he can't write. My eyes are two sapphires. Can you take a sapphire to him?" The swallow began to cry. He had a good heart and was sorry for the prince, so he took the sapphire to the young writer. "Now I can write again," said the writer. He was happy. The next day the prince said to the swallow, "Can you stay one more night? My friends are waiting for me in Egypt." "I can see a little match girl," said the Happy Prince. "She dropped her matches, and now they are no good. Her father beats her when she doesn't bring home any money. Take my other eye and give it to her. Oh, then you will be blind. Do it for me, said the prince. So the swallow went to the little match girl and dropped the sapphire into her hand. How pretty, said the little girl. She was very happy. Then the swallow came back to the prince. Now, little swallow, you can go to Egypt, said the prince. But you are blind now, and I will always stay with you. I love you very much, the swallow said. Then he slept at the prince's feet. All the next day, the swallow told the prince beautiful stories about strange countries. Dear little swallow, said the prince, you tell me marvelous things, but I know a terrible mystery, misery. Fly over my city, little swallow, and tell me what you see there. The swallow flew over the city. When he came back, he said, in the palaces I saw rich people. They were happy and loved. And in the dark, dirty streets, I saw the white faces of poor children. They were hungry and cold. I have gold on my body. Take the gold and give it to my poor children, said the prince. The swallow brought all the gold to the poor children. Now the happy prince was dull and grey, but the poor children were happy and they laughed. Then the snow came, and the little swallow was very cold. One day he said, goodbye, dear prince. I am happy you are going to Egypt, little swallow, said the prince. Can you kiss me? I love you very much. I am not going to Egypt, said the swallow. I am going to the house of death. He kissed the happy prince and fell dead at his feet. Suddenly, the happy prince's leaden heart broke. Early the next morning, the mayor saw the statue. Oh, the happy prince looks terrible, and there's a dead bird at his feet. Birds can't die here, said the mayor. He was angry. He is not beautiful now. We don't want him, said the art professor. The mayor said, we can melt the leaden heart and make a statue of me. No, of me, said a man. No, of me, said another man. They took the heart and put it in a furnace. This is strange, they said. This leaden heart isn't melting. They threw away the leaden heart. They threw away the dead bird too. Then God said to an angel, bring me the two most precious things in the city. And the angel brought him the leaden heart and the dead bird. In the garden of paradise, the little swallow always sings. In God's city of gold, the happy prince praises him.